What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I covered an article, a news story the other day coming from CNN, where this lady goes into this Syrian prison and rescues a civilian or whatever. Well, I saw rumors about this Sunday. Check this out, y'all. Check this out. This is simply amazing. CNN's big story may have been a hoax, but put on by Syrian torturer, according to fact-checking groups. So apparently, so CNN, Clarissa Ward, the lady you saw in the video, may have accidentally, inadvertently committed treason against these United States. Right now, it's a little bit hyperbolic. I'm not going to lie about that. But, you know, the technical definition of treason is aiding and abetting enemies to this nation, right? Well, hang on. Syria, the Assad regime, is an enemy of this nation. And apparently this guy worked for the Assad regime. Apparently, this guy was an intelligence officer and a quote-unquote torturer, whatever that's supposed to be, right? But let's get into this thing, because this is, you gotta love, like the corporate press is just dying, folks. And because they are dying, what I need you guys to do right quick is to smash that like button for me, subscribe to this channel, and share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. I would greatly appreciate that. Y'all need to help me out. I would appreciate it. I need y'all's help a lot. But let's get into this thing, because this is crazy. The supposed prisoner who CNN's Clarissa Ward purportedly helped free from a Syrian prison could be a Bashar al-Assad regime torturer who gave the network a false identity, according to a Syrian fact-checking organization. I can't stand fact-checking organizations, right? Some of them. Because they love to beat around the bush. They love to lie without lying, right? Like they'll have, like, say, I don't know, like Donald Trump punches a cow in the face, right? You know, you'll get this fact-checking group come out and say, did Donald Trump punch a cow in the face on Sunday? And then they'll go on this long tirade of, you know, why Donald Trump dislikes cows and the effects of a human fist impacting a cow's face. And then at the very end of it, they'll say, no, it happened on Saturday. It didn't happen on Sunday. Blah, 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 blah. But, you know, the big title will be fact check false. And that's what they love to do. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt, if you will. But, you know, the corporate press, they are reporting on this. So I'm going to report on it as well. CNN published a video Wednesday of Ward and her camera crew entering a prison she described as deep in the belly of the regime's Air Force intelligence headquarters, where they found a solitary man huddled beneath a blanket. CNN identified the man as Adel Gerbal, who they described as a rebel fighter. According to a Verify site, a Syrian fact-checking organization, there are no public records of Adel Gerbal in any Syrian prison. Verify site identified the man as Salama Mohammed Abu Hazma Salama. Wow, that's a lot of names. Reportedly an Assad regime official notorious for demanding bribes and torturing those who refused them. Salama, there we go. Salama, known as Abu Hamza, is a first lieutenant in Syrian Air Force intelligence notorious for his activities in Homs. Resident of the Al-Bayada neighborhood, identified him as frequently stationed at a checkpoint in the area's western entrance, infamous for its abuses. Verify Sa, which received international accreditation from the Poitner Institute-affiliated International Fact-Checking Network in 2022, wrote, Hamza was reported involved in theft, extortion, and coercing residents into becoming informants, Verify Sa wrote. Hamza told CNN he had not seen the sunlight in 3 months, but locals told Verify Sa the regime jailed Hamza less than a month before CNN's report over profit sharing from extorted funds with a higher-ranking officer. Verify Sa appeared to doubt the claim that he hadn't seen sunlight, writing his reaction to the light did not match such a claim. Right, we poured over this. The guy comes out of the prison and looks up and starts saying sunlight, or of course in his native language, of course, but he's like, sunlight, just looking up at the sky, like, come on, right? There were so many logical inconsistencies in that video. I can't list them all here. There were so many, but we went over that. If you haven't seen that video, by the way, I would suggest go check it out. It's enlightening, to say the least. Right? But it goes to show this is what places like CNN, MSNBC, all these places, this is what they do, folks. They bring you the news on a silver platter, right? They have Hollywood producers producing this crap for them. A lot of it's garbage. Now, I ain't gonna lie, they do have a news section of CNN. All these places do, as a matter of fact, where they give out the news, and there's not really much opinion. Of course, these places, they frame it in such a way to push the narrative in a certain direction, and you gotta watch out for that, but most people can pick up on these things. They'll see it, but whatever. But, CNN, they're failing right now because they've consistently lied to the American people, to the world, as a matter of fact, on a daily basis, just about. And people are getting sick and freaking tired of it. They're tired of being lied to. They just want some freaking news. They just want to know what's going on in the world and not be cuddled and coddled and all that good stuff and pushed into a box and given their news on a silver platter framed in such a way that makes them think a certain thing. Right? We don't want that. We want reality for what it is. And what they have done is pretty much committed suicide, essentially. It's a self-inflicted wound. Their ratings are failing, and it's apparent that they're going under. And now, with this is what I postulated, if you will, that they're trying to bring their ratings back up. So, busting a Syrian civilian out of the Assad regime's prison, would get them some ratings, which it did, as a matter of fact. But now they may have screwed up. They may have screwed up big. They also noted that his well-groomed appearance did not match with someone who has been in prison for 90 days. Local residents apparently told Verify Sa about Hamza's infamous reputation. Despite his seemingly innocent and composed demeanor in the CNN report, Salma has a grim history. He participated in military operations on several fronts in Homs in 2014, killed civilians, and was responsible for detaining and torturing numerous young men in the city without cause or on fabricated charges. Many were targeted simply for refusing to pay bribes, rejecting cooperation, or even for arbitrary reasons like their appearance, a resident told the outlet. CNN responded to the fact check Sunday night. We have subsequently been investigating his background and are aware that he may have given a false identity. You think, huh? The outlet told the New York Post. Ward called the encounter one of the most extraordinary moments I've witnessed in her 20 years of reporting. One of the most extraordinary. Yeah, trying to drum it up, right? CNN published an update to their story Monday evening, writing, a man who was filmed by CNN being released by rebels from a Damascus jail was a former intelligence officer with the deposed Syrian regime, according to local residents, and not an ordinary citizen who had been imprisoned as he had claimed. A local reportedly gave the outlet a photo of Hamza in his military uniform to CNN, who claimed they used facial recognition software to match the photo with their video of him with a greater than 99% accuracy. The outlet said they are not publishing the photo to protect the identity of their source. Oh, you got to protect their identities, y'all. Yeah, because we don't want to be able to verify these sources, right? This is another reason why CNN is failing. These people, they always hide their sources, and they'll say, oh, it's somebody, they'll come up with some allegation, like this stuff on Pete Hegseth, right? Oh, it's some weird allegation, right, if you know what I mean. And it's always anonymous sources, right? Like, I've gotten really good at saying on the condition of anonymity, right? I can say it pretty quick for anonymity because I have to read this word out so often. It's almost in every single news article I cover. Somebody's given anonymity to speak freely, if you will, right? So we don't want to know who these sources are. So we can't verify this stuff as citizens of these great United States. And this is very, very sad because now we're just having take their word for it. And in this day and age, just taking somebody's word for it without backing up your claim, yeah. We've been screwed over way too many times to just go along with this, right? Salama's current whereabouts are unknown, the outlet reported. Ward and CNN said they were in Syria looking for Austin Tice, a freelance journalist who went missing while reporting in Syria for the Washington Post. The U.S. Department of State accused the Syrian government with certainty of seizing and holding Tice. Hopes for Tice's release reached an all-time high when rebels toppled President Bashar al-Assad's 24-year regime earlier in December. The 43-year-old, however, has yet to resurface. Yeah, unfortunately, in situations like this, there's not much you can really do, right? Like, the country is just crumbled. The government fell apart, and we don't know what to do. The guy could be, once again, like this guy was, locked up in a prison somewhere, and we just don't know about it. Or he could be hiding out somewhere and not even know that the regime has been toppled. We just don't know. But this story is more about CNN and their malfeasance, if you will. Right? They need to be held to account. The public, there needs to be an outcry to the corporate press, the mainstream news, to say, stop doing this to us. Stop lying to everybody. Check your sources first, like you used to do back in the day. We want verified information. We don't want this bogus Hollywood made-up news. We don't want none of this garbage. We want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, right? That's all we want. We want the freaking truth, right? Like, that's the whole reason I'm right here on YouTube. It's because these people lie through their freaking teeth constantly to everybody, and then they smile in your face when you call them liars. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Is that so? Right? It's like, hang on here. Are we conspiracy theorists? No. As a matter of fact, we're not. We're just seeking the truth, and we can't get the God's honest truth from you guys, so we got to go elsewhere. And then they'll tell you, oh, trust the experts. I thought you guys were the experts, at least on journalism. Yeah, freaking right. We're going to get our news. We're going to verify these sources ourselves. And try to report on that news. But once again, you come across somebody like me, right, who is outright debunking the corporate press. Who are you going to trust right off top? Like, this day and age, probably me, to be honest with you, because there's no reason for me to lie to you. Corporate press, I don't know why they lie to everybody, because they lie in their own detriment, right? Because their ratings are showing it. People get pissed off with them all the time. So why do they lie? To push a narrative. All these people, they go to journalism college and they get indoctrinated into this left-wing ideology. So they try to bias everything out. Right? It's absurd what they do. They push a narrative. Like when they lied for months and months, as a matter of fact, probably years, about Joe Biden. And then what really, really pissed me off over here is the fact that when Joe Biden come out with the debate with Donald Trump, and everybody saw that the emperor had no clothes on, they act shocked. Oh my God. We didn't know he was that bad, y'all. They trying to brush it off like, no, stop lying to us outright. Just stop it. You know you've been lying. Anybody that talks to this man for 5 seconds can tell that his mental faculties are waning, going downhill fast. But you guys, y'all wanted to prop this guy up because you had to beat Donald Trump. You had to beat the evil orange man. It's absurd. And all this evil orange man garbage actually pushed me toward Donald Trump, because I'm like, why are they going after this man so hard? Right? Forced me to look into some of the indictments into Donald Trump. I know the longtime viewers know this story, but I've got some new subscribers, so I might as well tell it again, right? Like I was kind of against Donald Trump. You know, I was just an average everyday dude, right? For Donald Trump's presidency. 2020, I didn't even vote, to be honest with you. And, after all this stuff, I'm looking at January 6th like, God dang, man, I can't believe Donald Trump would do this. I thought he was a pretty good president, right? Just the media going after him constantly, but it's like, he did pretty good. He crossed the demilitarized zone. He went to North Korea with no security detail. He had peace agreements all over the place. No new wars. Gas was cheap. Grocery prices were down. Wages were coming up. I was happy. Right? And then all this January 6th stuff happened. I'm like, man, I took it back for a minute. Like, whoa, what's going on with this? And then all this stuff started rolling out. And I'm like, sitting back like, man, I can't believe he would do this. It's just crazy. And then the indictments started coming out. But it was when the classified documents indictment came down the pipeline. And I remember this from the civics class, of all places, right? Something I picked up on in high school, for goodness sakes. The president has plenary power to declassify pretty much anything he wants, right? So I'm like, how can the federal government go after the former president for taking classified documents? And then when, the corporate press, the mainstream news come out and say, oh, he's taking nuclear secrets to the House. Like, hang on there just a second. That made me think, how do you know what's in those classified documents? Nobody knows that. They're not going to tell the corporate press, of all places, what's in the classified documents, because they're classified documents. According to them, Trump wasn't even supposed to have this stuff. So it's like, hang on, how do they know? So they're lying to us. So I looked into that indictment, and I'm like, they had an espionage charge on there at one point. Yeah, they dropped it off. But it's like, hang on, no, this is all bogus. I went and looked into the Presidential Records Act and all this other stuff. And I'm like, hang on. Okay, so they had a legitimate argument over some of these documents. That's something you bring to court. That's not something you raid the guy's freaking house over. Right? And I'm like, this is bogus. So I'm like, well, hang on. If that's bogus, what about all these other indictments? So I started looking into those too. And come to find out, most of those are bogus as well. They have a little bit like a very, very shaky legal standing on some of this stuff. Very, very shaky. Right? Got a lawyer friend of mine. Asked him about all this stuff. And he's like, no, this is all bogus. It'll never get through the courts. They'll never find him guilty on any of this stuff. And come to find out, they're dropping it. Not because, Donald Trump's going to be the president. That's the excuse they gave us. But mostly because they know that it's bogus charges. They most certainly can reserve the right to hold on to these charges until Donald Trump leaves office in 2028 or 2029. They can hold on to this and go after him at that point if they want to, but no. They're moving to dismiss, to drop all of this stuff, and I wonder why. It's very, very curious, that is. But I think I've rambled on for long enough on this one, y'all. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. I mean, is this a shocker to you guys out there? Like, oh, CNN committed treason. Goodness. No, they didn't intentionally. I mean, I think that has to be like the intent of committing treason. But that's why a lot of people are saying that. But come on, y'all. Come on, this was an accident due to them just trying to struggle to get their ratings back. They ended up screwing up, like, badly. Real bad. But y'all let me know what y'all think. That is all I got on this one, y'all. Don't forget to smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new. Share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody you know. As a matter of fact, do me a big favor and go to a rooftop somewhere and start screaming, subscribe to Political Overwatch. Do me that favor. I would greatly appreciate that. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.